Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play a Painted Live. Here we go with another one of these. We are painting some random stuff tonight. This is Guild Ball terrain that I made up. Not official Guild Ball terrain. It's just my Guild Ball terrain. All right. So last night on Twitch, I did a little bit of color blocking on this stuff here. This is the. It's like an. I don't know. It's like a study. Actually, I realized I did the book backwards on here, and that's gonna piss me off. Wonder if I can fix it. No, it doesn't look like I can. It's really on there, isn't it? Yeah. Well, the books are on backwards. Whoops. That's terrible. That's terrible. Whatever. It's just gonna look a little odd. It's okay. People don't even paint their terrain. See how I'm trying to just justify it? Like, it'll be fine. It's not gonna be fine. It'll be fine. All right. But these pieces here are really weird. I can't even tell you like what they're from exactly. I don't remember. I bought these at Brookhurst Hobbies, and it was like in that weird bin that like even the owner doesn't know that they own this stuff. And I just found it, and I was like, oh, that looks weird. I'll figure out something to do with it. I don't even know if I was playing Guild Ball at the time that I found this. I'm like, oh, could be terrain for something, right? I think it's supposed to be like sci-fi terrain for like a 10mm game, but they're gonna look like, I don't know, just like broken bits of technology, I guess, right? Like lost crates or something. That's the idea. And so this is gonna kind of go with like an engineers type set. Not have. Oh, that's why. I didn't put the lock nut on. It's like, what's the matter with my airbrush? We're gonna do most of this on airbrush because that's what you do with terrain. That looks pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. So we're gonna knock these bad boys out. If anybody joins me in the chat, we might be talking Season 4 Guild Ball. Maybe Guild Ball Masons, because that's what that was. The cards that were released today were the Masons team. And for those of you who know about Guild Ball in this channel, you know that I am a big time Masons player. They are, I guess they are still my #1 guild, although, you could easily make the argument, and it's a big question going into Season 4 for me, is like, who really is my main team? Is it Masons or is it Alchemists? Because Alchemists have really kind of taken the most common spot for me here in Season 4. I've logged way more Alchemist games in Season 4 than I have Masons. I'm missing the boys. I might bust them out tomorrow. Get a little bit of honor on the board there. Okay. I'm excited, man. Masons, I like the Masons Season 4. I think, other than the brick nerf, which was kind of a bummer, but I feel like it's like that was an important lesson. Brick ended up on every Masons team because he was just too damn useful in that spot. Like, Brick gave you everything. He's an influence battery. He gave you counter charge and 2-inch melee, tough hide, 2/2 defense. Gave you that tough hide with It also gave you countercharge with marbles, and it gave you, you know, 1 armor for harmony, right? Like, why wouldn't you take brick? My problem is, you know, granite sat the bench for the longest time there. But I'm pretty excited about it. Anyway, you guys tell me what's up. Like, what are you most interested in for Season 4 Guild Ball? I don't even remember what guild is being leaked tomorrow. Get all that out of the way. Woo! A messy, messy thing there. It would be cool to get these out on the board. You know what I'm saying? Question is, do I use this as an obstacle, or does this become rough terrain? Hey, what's up, Blade Wolf? Because this one is a little bit flatter and wider than the other pieces, so maybe it becomes, maybe that one becomes rough ground. Go rough terrain? Cool. Well, yeah, why not? We can use that as rough terrain and call the rest of them obstacles. You know what? I should check that drawer one more time and make sure that I don't have another one of these pieces in there. Let's see what we got. Like, if I may have one more piece. Let's just check real quick, since those are going to dry for a minute anyway. How you doing tonight, man? What are you working on? There's so much just junk in this drawer. It would be very, very easy to lose one of these pieces. I don't see shit. I think we're cool, man. Yeah, I think I'm cool. I think I didn't have another one. It's only 5 pieces. I'm down. It's actually kind of perfect because it's 4 obstacles in a rough ground. Yeah, we're cool. Oh gosh. Just looking at Mason's cards again. Dude, Masons are strong. No, there's a lot of people crying over that brick nerf. I don't even care. Granite is disgusting. Granite is great. Why are we like? I'm stoked, man. All right, granite's good times. I think Granite V Harmony combos are really, really nice with Hammer. With Honor, I'm definitely fielding Granite. With Honor, I don't know which chisel I want to run. Probably Vet Chisel. I probably want to run Vet Chisel. I think the whole idea of faking somebody out, loading up a character like Mallet, right? Loading up a workhorse like Mallet, or putting 3 on him, right? And then you use them. You charge and you wear something down, right? Then, and you have 3 on, I don't know, say Granite or something like that. And then let's say you decide, like towards the end of the turn, you decide to superior strategy Mallet, and then use Chisel's ability to load him back up. That would be devastating as all shit, man. That would just it's not the most influence efficient thing to do, but holy shit balls, right? And then you've got Wrecker in there because you don't need, I'm actually going to drop Wrecker in the lineup because Wrecker is going to give me, everybody 2-inch more threat. And this makes Masons like one of the best, in my opinion. They become one of the best kicking teams in the entire game. That's just my opinion. I think the combination of all that combined means they're a kicking team that will easily beat most other teams in a momentum race. I'm thinking about doing a full-on. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. This is the craziest play I thought of, right? So here's the deal. So it's not the most damage you can do, but okay, so you kick off. Here's the deal, right? You kick off with Tower. You kick off with Tower, and that's a and with Football Legend, you have a 4-7 kick. So you kick real shallow with Tower, right? Somebody comes up and gets the ball, and you put 4 on Tower. Well, you put 3 on him. The start of the turn, you put 3 on Tower, right? And then in the middle of the first turn, not in the end, but in the middle of the first turn, you have Tower come in, attack the guy that picked up the ball, and you do momentous double push, momentous double push, momentous double push, right? Meanwhile, somebody hits Tower in the meantime. You have him within Granite's walk range, and you move Granite into there for the tar pit, right? Then what you're going to do is so you momentous double push, momentous double push, momentous double push, and get that target. If you can get a KD, even better. But momentous double push is fine. That's 4 inches back towards your own line, and you've just pushed everybody forward with Wrecker, right? Then you have crazy options, right? Because you could tool up Mallet, but who cares? You could have 3 sitting on Mallet, right? Like he's going to do something. And then you could use Chisel to fake it out and put 4 and then move the 3 back to Tower and superior strategy tower for 4. Oh shit! Holy shit, man! Then you got some. Then you got some Lucy, got some splainings to do, right? Because you will farm the shit out of some momentum on somebody with all that momentous too. You don't even tool up. You don't tool up. You use all of that momentum, pushing an enemy character, all the way into your lines, right? So that they're sitting on, so they're staring at honor, so that they're in Granite's range. You throw one on Granite just so she can get the knockdown, giving Tower the +2 for floored, and you just farm the shit out of that one model, right? And you poise yourself for your turn 2 6-point activation, start a turn with honor. I think it's one of the best kicking strategies. If you do it right, Tower could he can almost pull somebody from the other guy's line. You shouldn't have to, though, because you're going to have you'll have a dummy activation somewhere in there. You'll have I don't know who your early activation is. Actually, Tower might be one of the early activations, because it'll just catch the guy off guard. Right? Especially if you can keep Tower within 6 inches. I believe it's 6 inches of Granite, or is it 4-inch jaw, or is it within 4 inches? I forget. What's her between a rock and? Is that a 4-inch aura or a 6-inch aura? Oh, and don't forget to give yourself, when Chisel goes, don't forget to give yourself a 1 there to give Tower assist Chisel. Oh God! So then you do have the disgustingness. So you don't even need tooled up. You could if you totally wanted to delete somebody. You don't have it. You don't have to. God. This is so cool, man. Being able to run a play for Tower. That's the titty balls right there. That's awesome. But think about it. Like, Tower has momentous double push on 2 results. I mean, you could walk a guy 8 inches. You could technically walk a guy 8 inches back into your own line. And you know what? Not that anyone would be that stupid, but what if it was Thresher? What if it was Thresher? What if you pulled Thresher so far back away from his team? I tried it before. I tried it on Kevin before, and it's not terrible. It's not a terrible strategy. You still suck down a fairly mean Thresher activation, but you may scare him into activating too early before things are really set up, Oh, man. I gotta run this. I gotta run this play. I may try it tomorrow. I'm supposed to play Aaron's Blackheart team. And I'm thinking, like, who's gonna kick? Is it gonna be if it's Fangtooth kicking to me, I may pop that Glut Mass and just push him back and push him back and push him back. Yeah. So you're looking at Tower. You're looking to tool up, use knockback 3 times. No. I'm not looking to tool up at all. You don't have to. That's not the goal on the first turn. First turn, you're just trying to get a hostage. You would actually, you're better off using that influence to draw, to try to get another double push. Yeah, you're just trying to get as much double push as possible. You may have to charge to get, if the guy's got a 2-inch melee and an 2-inch melee and a momentum, because the kicker does get momentum. The receiver is going to get momentum off of that first kick. So you probably have to suck down. If you charge, you could draw out a defensive stance and just try to get your with Brick, I'm not even, they took a push away from Brick. And that's the one part of the nerf that no one's really talking about, is the fact that they took a push away from Brick. To me, that's mission critical. If you take a push away from a guy that's got knockback, you've essentially just nerfed that guy into the ground. I wouldn't even, I don't want to run Tower Brick. I mean, I don't want to run Brick and Marbles at all. I would just, not to mention, you could use, not to mention you could use Wrecker early in the turn. So that Tower doesn't have to charge. The neat thing about it is if you triangulate right, if someone tries to snare Tower, you put it on Chisel. If someone does damage to Tower, you get a free jog with Granite. Like, we're triangulating off of the man. And the Mallet activation later in the turn can totally happen with or without superior strategy. You could, if Tower is successful on the first round and he gets him far enough back, you could decide to forego superior strategy altogether and just go in with the guns that you've got and get all your bonuses, get your singled out, get your knockdown, and then really set Honor up. At the end of that turn, the idea is to leave that player on 1 health, right? You leave that player on 1 health. Then the following turn, what you would do is, assuming you got 1 billion momentum, because you will have 1 billion momentum. The following turn, you go with Honor. You activate Honor first. You take 1 swing, you kill that character. You legendary, putting yourself back up to 6. So now you can go after the ball. That's kind of my rough idea here. 6-point activation, into the second turn. That leaves them down a guy. They won't allocate any influence to him. You'll have to deal with the other. Yeah, I'm using an Honor team. Hammer is too disgusting. I will never like Hammer. I just won't. Like, the ability to absolutely make a perfect character in the game, I get the allure there, but I am not a fan of that. I mean, if you're going Hammer, then you're fielding Vet Harmony for sure. You might swap out V Chisel for O Chisel, You're still running, granted, you're still running a very, very similar play to what I'm doing, except you're just doing it more efficiently, if I'm being honest with you. You could do the exact same thing with a hammer team, and you would be way more efficient at it. Problem becomes is, Honor is going to end up with probably 2 momentum for killing the hostage at the start of the turn. And whoever she decides to charge is going to defensive stance. So she better hit the numbers. She better be going after a low defense character. I don't know if, depending on what the matchup is, I don't know that she needs to play on the ball. My own personal tendency is to play on the ball, but that may not necessarily be the right move on this team. Right? You may try to get. I would love to get the 6 points though. Wow, I'm supposed to have all these airbrush greens and I can't find a single airbrush green. What the hell is going on? You're trying to make Bermuda Triangle. I mean, you do. What that does is it does set up one of the most disgusting mosh pits you can think of. So yeah, I mean, it's all true. Give me I just need a regular, a boring ass brown. Someone's got a boring ass brown in here. There's a boring ass brown. Pretty gross play. Pretty gross play. I'm so bored. Tonight. I might actually break out the dice in a couple pieces just to see if it works. What we would want to determine what exactly is Tower's threat. If he's kicking, you want to say that with a 5-inch kick, and if he goes at an angle, you're approximately 3 inches off the line, right? You're approximately 3 inches off the line. The first activation, if you kicked shallow enough, the first activation for your opponent might be run up and get the ball. Your first activation is going to be with Wrecker to move everybody up 2 inches, move the entire team up 2 inches, or at the very least, what you need to do is you need to be able to move. You need to be able to move Tower, Vet Chisel, and Granite. That's the goal. Right? So that's the first activation. The second activation could very well be Tower, depending if the guy gives you a good target. Because now Tower is 5 inches off the line, and he has 9 inches of threat. So realistically, 14 inches of total threat, or he can hit a guy dead on about 2 inches from the line. Ideally, you want a guy that's sitting about 3 or 4 inches off the line. So you kick centrally. You kick centrally to the other player. And like I said, you really, really want a shallow kick. And if it's not looking like it's going to happen, you have honor go in and superior strategy. You have honor go in superior strategy early, so they know it's tower going. So that tower at the end of the turn can threaten whoever the hell he wants. That's the backup plan. It's not the best plan. You could also do this with Mallet, but it's not nearly as efficient in terms of being able to draw the player back. I'm liking this brown quite a bit. But yeah, this is the Mason Pat Cat. And I've always, I've been such a big fan of Tower that I'm going to use a little of this here. A little bit richer shades. I've always wanted to run a play specifically for him. And I think I might have just found the play I want to run. Man. Sucker is clogged like mad. But yeah, you have to think of in terms of how can I extend threat wide enough to set myself up for my 6-pointer in the following turn. Not bad. Lots of variation in how this wood looks. Got a lot of skinning going on in this. Okay, so what if I do this? Hammer, mallet, tower, chisel, wrecker, and lucky. Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard. With hammer, I really think you want to have either vet chisel or vet harmony for conditions. This is one of the easiest ways to wreck a hammer crew. You just feel bad for Lucky. Well, Lucky is really good on the Brewers. It's just on the Masons. There's just so much duplication in what he's capable of. Yeah, he's very useful. Don't get me wrong, but I always end up on some specific plan that just doesn't leave room for another consideration like Lucky. O-Chisel with hammer is pretty sick because now you have potentially another that do to the needle? This is weird. I have a skin buried in there. Hold on. That brown is a cool brown, but man, it appears to have jacked up my nozzle. There you go. Yeah, I think Flint, as good a striker as he is you take Flint. I see Flint on more of like a, well, if you want to get that 4-1 going, Flint just doesn't do enough for my specific strategy for winning. There we go. That's a lot better. Is there anything else? Oh, I need to shoot green. Well, I still think you're going to see a lot of Flint because just because he's still one of the best pure strikers in the game. So I still think you're going to see him. He's not. I mean, with me, he hasn't made a lot of my squads in the past 3 seasons. Yeah, not with a female. Yeah, right. Like Flint doesn't really perform for me the way I see him perform for other people. It's a shame too, because he's one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite models. All right. Whoa. Green there. Heaven help you stop playing waifu teams, because most people play all guys teams, or most. I don't know if that's true. I don't know, man. I mean, if you're talking the farmers lineup, yes, because you only have Millstone. But if you're talking most other teams, butchers, alchemists, I run a lot of females on my alchemist team. Or at least 50-50. They're endless as sauce. It is, actually. It's true. But, like, Fish can have a lot of female players. And I guess now that you mention it, I guess Union. All right, we're looking pretty good. Union can be all female, true, except for the captain. Now you've got Brisket moving over to order, but I did field that all female Union team before. It was terrible. The team lost pretty bad. They needed Harry. All right. That's enough for the airbrush. So I guess we're going to dry brush all this stuff now. Whoa. Don't do that. Ah. I guess this is a dry brush. I don't have a softer one. This is a good dry brush. So you just need to bring up corners and all that kind of stuff. So I need like a bone white color. Bone white. I'll make sure this all works. All right. I don't know if I trust this. That's not bad. So yeah, we're gonna go with this bone white. Did I put the right color down? But that bounced all of the paint off. How weird. Scatha Fahad. Vet Mink Zerola Minerva Egret. It's a cool list. I would try it. Let's get some edges on these bad boys. Right. You control the field by hurting people. I don't understand that. I don't understand that concept. I think the one issue with the all-female hunters team is you just lose too much utility without Jaker. Obviously, no Theron. So you're kind of playing like a 3-0 team, meaning Egret and Scatha will be carrying most of the weight. I do really like Zerola in there for Midnight Offering. Yeah, I'm planning on trying to run that Hunter's team for a week or so. But Hunters are going to be, they are going to be stupidly popular season 4. I think Hunters and Blacksmiths are going to be probably Hunters, Blacksmiths, and Union. And then Fish always are the most popular teams. There's a lot of people talking about that Alchemist bandwagon, but I think once they saw all of the Masons' ability to just laugh at condition tech, a lot of them went back to whatever team they were rooting for before. No one's going to pick up Alchemy. No, we're going to see more Alchemy. We'll see some. We'll see a few more. We'll see some Flavor of the Month people hopping on. They're going to get disappointed with Smoke pretty quickly, though. Once they realize that, yeah, Smoke can do the damage that they say she can do. But if you don't apply that in a proper sense, you're not going to play that team well. You're just thinking about the raw numbers, like, oh, I could do 12 damage. But if you don't, with the way alchemists work, if you don't apply that the right way, then you're just going to spread 12 damage out. Somebody's going to kill you and heal past it and not care. And be like, wow, that was really impressive, that turn that you did 12 damage to me. But I destroyed your whole team. So, good job, I guess? So these just look like sort of like, I don't know what they are, crates or steel gizmachos. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to paint. We're going to start throwing some colors down. Actually, I think what I need to do is, the first thing I need to do is get the armor wash on. Get the armor wash on these guys. Certain teams will have an easy time. I think that hammer team is disgusting. I don't think Steamforged knows that they made Hammer stronger. They were trying to nerf him. I don't think they understand that yet. They made him stronger. We're just going to do a little armor wash here. Kind of muck these up a little bit. It's like way too much armor wash there. So I'm going to rinse a bunch of that off. Just kind of force it down. Right? Get it off the high areas. I want to see US Steam kind of like half the room brings Masons. I don't know. We'll see what happens with. I think everybody gets such a huge power boost So we'll see. Let's see what happens. Mainly, what I'm concerned about is the disparity between archetype teams, right? So if goal scoring teams look like they've taken a hit in season 4 versus the beatdown teams, or vice versa, that's what I'm looking for. But I mean, I think any attempts to make Honor sort of compete for a spot versus Hammer with a competitive Masons player, I think is a sham. Like, that's a dirty lie. I see little to no reason to take Honor into matchups, into competitive matchups where Hammer is going to do it far more efficiently. Pretty much across the board, right? The only thing Honor really brings you in the matchup disparities is the quick time difference. So she can't just get iced out the way Hammer can. And then obviously her legendaries is I still think is better than Hammer's, although Hammer's is pretty damn nice. Because if you look at O'Chisel, on Hammer's feet turn, you're talking about O'Chisel going from she plus tooled up, so +1 damage for tooled up, +1 damage for giving herself her own +1 character play, and +1 damage from the feet. So you're talking momentous 5 damage on 2 successes with a character who's tax 6. A character who is tax 6 and has a very low momentous 2. Right? Why bother going out to 3 damage unless you're trying to burn down somebody with like 30 health? So you save her, like you take your 6-point activation with Hammer, then you legendary. Like Hammer's already killed someone and possibly scored a goal. Then you legendary, and you start working on whoever else is around there, and you finish up with O'Chisel, and that's some terrifying shit right there, right? Because O'Chisel with at momentous 5 on 2 damage, on 2 successes, is looking to do 20 damage to somebody. With her 4, she's looking to do 20 damage. Yeah, tomorrow's blacksmiths. That's going to be scary. Will they be sleeping on the couch with a cat? Yeah, for me they will. They're all but gone to my mind. Not that they're bad, but I know they're going to be popular because of the Sledge Anvil boost. And then Vet Cinder. So they're going to be a popular team for like Brawl, for people that are brawling. Right. Because, now you're talking about, the infamous Anvil activation where he just does 8 damage before dice are rolled. But he's very likely doing 12 to 16 damage per activation. So is Vet Cinder. Probably going to do, if you had her loaded up, you could probably do 12 to 16 damage. Did you Captain America tech? Okay. All right, so it's time to paint let's paint all the brick in. Fix that horse. Oh, Ferris? Yeah, I'm very curious to see if they fix Ferris. Gosh, imagine if they make Ferris viable. need your girl fixed. Like if they make Ferris Bolt a viable combo, we'll see. Ferris has all kinds of abilities that are just bad. Her legendary's bad. Her weird drive-by thing is bad. She's got a lot of issues. Well, pinning Herringbone sucks under here. It's alright, she's on a horse. She's still the worst master in the game. Alright. So we're just gonna paint all this herringbone in. Then I gotta paint books and papers and all that kind of stuff. Just sort of random. They make Ferris better. I don't care if they nerf. Wow. I don't know though. I feel like blacksmiths kind of have their 6. And if they make Ferris better, chances are they're gonna nerf Ferrite. Actually, I'm pretty sure they're still gonna nerf Ferrite just because she's so popular. Right? The main nerf targets for blacksmiths would be Ferrite, Alloy, I don't know. Yeah, Ferrite and Alloy. Give Ferris 3 defense. I don't think giving her any defense is gonna help her. She just has to do something better than just tutelage for Bolt. You know, Stagger is really nice on her playbook. But I think the problem is like, how do you write rules for a character on a horse and make it not OP. Okay. Okay. All right. Anybody else working on anything tonight? Me and Blade Wolf are just talking Season 4 Guild Ball stuff. So if you have any questions about Guild Ball or what I'm painting or painting in general or anything like that, feel free to leave me a comment and I'll get back to it as soon as I see it. All right, working on some herringbone there. Give her sturdy. I'd rather have stoic. But yeah. Okay. But I don't know. Like, I would almost be sad trying to make Ferris work. Okay. So you can see, like, these are definitely interior designed Guild Ball terrain that I'm creating here. That's my... Give her 7-10 movement. That would be kind of sweet. Maybe give her that same thing Iron has for the 2-inch push. I think maybe I want to go... I think I want to go with Cold Gray as the other floor tile. Yeah. Because I kind of already have like a tan theme going here. So why not? Okay. All right. So this should give it a little more of a authentic, like a gray look, gray cobblestone. And these are they'll vaguely match the bases I made for my alchemist guild. Heard a weird like crash upstairs. Hang on one sec, guys. I want to check on Let me check on what's going on up there. The babies are awake or anything. 1 second, okay? Okay, looks like everybody's fine. It's just kind of weird. Maybe that was one of the neighbors or something. I don't know. All right. You're gonna be right back? Okay. All good. Okay. Oh. So this should look pretty cool. Yep. So pretty simple paint scheme going on here. Whoops. The tile looks a little too blue right now, but that's kind of what I'm going for. Once you'll see, once it'll dull down once we wash it, and then it will look, it's gonna look like an indoor inlay, I guess is the best way to describe this. It's a brick inlay. Gotta log in some more games for the campaign tomorrow too. So, who you guys, if you're playing in the Free Cities draft, who you playing for? What guild and what player are you hoping to draft? I'm obviously playing for the Alchemist, and we're hoping to draft Nomad. Brewers and Ambers, what's up, Andrew? Yeah, just hopping on some YouTube for a slight change. I do that now. It's like I'll do streams on Twitch and then I'll hop back onto YouTube just to kind of keep, keep it fresh, I guess. Playing for that Amber. Well, that's good. I don't know if anybody else is playing for Amber. I think Farmers might be playing for Amber. Oh, I already did that. I already haven't done this one. So good luck. Yeah. I guess we're playing for Nomad. I don't know. My only reason there is I just want to win something in a campaign. After the last campaign, I tried playing for 2 teams and both teams lost their respective bids for Union players, and that made me sad. All right. Oh, Farmers are playing for Amber, but they're split. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Let's throw down some colors for some of these books. I thought I had a dope color that I bought the other day for the books. Yeah. I'm going to do some terracotta on the books. Brewers are full bore amber, but lagging behind. Yeah, just to not. I think it's just not enough popularity. Brewers aren't popular enough to keep up with Farmers. Farmers are the hotness because all the like top competitive people still run Farmers. So I guess we'll do. Yeah, that's a little too thin. Wow, no, it's just a thin. Whatever. Do a couple of books this color. I did a dumb thing and have the spines of the books pointing the other way. Hero might have any squeeze. Yeah, so we'll just paint some of these books this terracotta color. Like that. Then you got a bunch of books on here. Like a bunch of these can be terracotta. This is pretty simple what we're going for here. We're just gonna, just kind of throw a little variation of color around. So I could do this color, maybe like a deep green, and maybe even like a blue. Let's get out one of these deep green colors. This should look cool. This is for my, like I said, I guess I'm slowly building up an alchemist themed table. So I want to do, so, you know, we're going to have like some library pieces. I'm going to go get one of those, what's it called? Those like magic altar things. So that we got magicalness going on these as well. Okay, there's a couple books on there. And then I guess this book can be green right there. Let's do another color. Yeah, these will be fun. I think it'd be fun playing on a Guild Ball table that has like uniquely themed terrain. So we're gonna do like navy. It's another one of the colors. Okay. And there's like a scroll on top of that one. There we go. Some of them books there. The books there. We're going to make the books, guys. It sucks that alchemists don't get spoiled until the day before season 5 launch. I'm sorry, season 4 launches. Yay! We get to know a whole day before the season officially launches, which is no difference at all. You might as well have just called the day that they launch, the day that the alchemists come out as the official start of season 4. Like, what are you going to do for that day? You know, you're not going to be speculating like, oh man, you know what I mean? Everybody else has had a 2 weeks to theory craft. You might as well just make that launch day. Just saying, just make it launch day. It's okay. These bookshelves are from WizKids. They're from they're like, you know, your standard D&D terrain. But yeah. So I'm gonna get those like magical days. Yeah, the Nulzers one. Right. And I have like, you know, some of my pitches are like there's one or two of them that you could argue are like an interior pitch. So it'd be great on that. And this other terrain that I got is just really weird. It's just I guess I'm just calling it engineer's terrain. Pretty simple stuff, rat. Rat? Nothing too fancy. Did I paint all these books already? Bah, whatever. Oops. I did paint that book green already, but it's okay. It can be red now. Because I'll paint that bottle green. Ha 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 ha. Is that the safe and desk in the background? Well, one sec. Let me just hit this green here, and I'll show you what we're looking at. Just do this bottle. All right. So you get the desk and the chair, right? Then you get this is basically, I was just had this set up as sort of like a cabinet that was being built, right? So nothing too fancy there. Obviously, the bookcases are going to be a barrier, so you know, no line of sight past that. These are all obstacles. Obstacle, and then this is just like the little library Dewey Decimal thing, right? You're like, oh, I need to look up my references. I need to look it up on microfiche. I don't find it using the Dewey Decimal System. you just put that on there. Now these, I don't know what the shit these are. I do not know what this is. This is just, what the hell are these? I bought these at Brookhurst Hobbies, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years ago, right? Because Brookhurst Hobbies, like back in the day, you could dig in there. They had these like that safe, like I don't know if these. I mean, this is, that does look like a safe, doesn't it? That's probably a safe, right? But anyways, like I used to go to Brookhurst Hobbies and just like find like the weirdest bins that they had that are like close to the floor and shit. And I would dig through those bins and look for just weird shit that had, and specifically my gig was like I was gonna find shit that had no price tag on it, hoping that uh, hoping that the owner would just give it to me for some random price, right? So it was like a plastic bin that had this and this, and it was a set of this stuff, right? It's all resin. This is 100% resin piece. This could be rough ground, right? And I walk up to the counter, and the owner is like, "Oh, $3." And I'm like, $3, hell yeah! So I bought these years ago, and they're just sitting in my junk drawer. And I was like, man, these look. I have no idea what the hell these are, right? So I'm like, I'll just, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint them, and we're gonna call them engineer terrain for an engineer's board, because why not, right? Because reasons. So those are just random Engie terrain, and I'm working on some, and then obviously that's Alchemist terrain. All right, so that's what we're working on tonight. Totally making this shit up. I have Gloomhaven coming in tomorrow, and I'm going to work on a Gloomhaven commission. Now I know my YouTube audience, they were a little less than happy the last time I painted Gloomhaven for the channel, because I painted it for somebody that had backed the Kickstarter, and they didn't share any artwork or anything like that with me. And if I'm being honest with you, the pieces, the PVC plastic pieces, just sort of look. They just sort of look. What's the word I'm looking for? They look bad. How about that? We're just gonna use the word bad. They look bad without any context, right? They just look like weird sculpts. There's like that weird bull thing that looks like Daggett from Battlestar Galactica. There's a human guy that's holding a saw that looks like he's holding his penis that way. There's all this stuff. It's just a weird, like, without looking at the art, because the art is like, oh man, that's kind of cool. But if you just look at the plastic pieces and you just paint without context, it looks weird. And so I that's what I did is I did my best and I painted that first set without any context. And then I was doing a stream of it here on YouTube, and I was like, this is guy with a saw dick, and this is rainbow fire hands, and people were getting mad at me because how dare you insult Gloomhaven like that? You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Somebody just asked me to paint this, and that's what I got. How dare you insult the mighty, like the board gamer people? Like, how dare you insult the Gloomhaven? They got really upset, man. Like rainbow fire hands. There was sort of like a, the only thing I could describe it as is like there's some sort of gay Ewok. I didn't get any of the sculpts really. And a lot of people were not happy when I was painting. But this time I still won't know because I still have not played Gloomhaven, so whatever. Just gonna paint these little handles on the drawer fronts. Real simple. I mean, again, it's just terrain, not. You just want it, right? You need to be able to look at 3 feet and go, oh, that looks kind of cool. Nobody's going to be staring. Well, there might be. There might be some person like, oh, you didn't paint the handles incorrectly. Whatevs, man. Whatever, man. But yeah, I'm on like a streak here of painting board game commissions, and I'm not really. Board game commissions are really grindy for me. It's painting board game pieces with a couple of notable exceptions. With a couple of notable exceptions, is just not very fun for me, right? Because it's like you have to. There's usually monsters, and you batch paint the monsters, and then you have like 12 or 15 heroes, and not all, and the board game quality of miniatures is nowhere. It's just not as good as miniature game miniatures, right? So you're painting lower grade quality miniatures, and you have to paint a bunch of characters, and they're not. They're not to the caliber that you're used to if you paint for regular miniatures games. You've been paying. You've been doing some SDE minis. I will say, the SDE chibi, at the very least, I prefer that to. I prefer it to Arcadia Quest. I finished Arcadia Quest. Hey, what's up, Shears? I finished Arcadia Quest and Arcadia Quest Inferno. You can see the pics on my Instagram or whatever, or my Facebook page, and they look good. But the style of chibi, I don't like that style of chibi, and I didn't I didn't really have much fun painting it. But the thing is, I kind of knew that going in. Like I knew that was not going to be like the best experience for me because I knew I didn't like the Arcadia Quest aesthetic. How you been, man? What are you up to, Shears? Yeah, the SDE Chibi is just much better. It's like nicer to look at. I don't know. They're more satisfying to paint. They're, in my opinion, they're top to bottom better. Okay, so now we're gonna do like a. Oops, that's the wrong. We're gonna do like an umber ink glaze on these. The minute I find my umber ink glaze, where did it go? There they are. You keep buying Batman minis. Walking Dead Mantis. Oh, Mantic game. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know Nelson's playing. He plays Walking Dead sometimes, and I guess he likes it. You don't play it; you just paint it. What about so if you're buying Infinity miniatures, does that include Aristea? I've been painting shit out of some Aristea, and also been playing it recently. Like that's been my that's kind of been like my side game to here we're just gonna give that up just to kind of richen up the color of the base here. Yeah, it's been a side game, and the painting the minis has been awesome for Aristea. See, I don't really like the Infinity game, but I loved painting the minis. So Aristea was kind of a really nice thing for me because it allowed me to paint those Corvus Belli minis that I really like, and I like the game a lot better than I like Infinity. Not interested in MOBA style tabletop games. Yeah, I got the limited edition Dart, the Gen Con Dart, and that was awesome. And then at some point we're gonna hop back into Arena Rex. I have a Coliseum behind me that I have to finish painting. If I can ever stop painting all these commissions and all these teams and shit that's coming in, I need to just paint that. It's not gonna take me too long, probably a couple days, just airbrushing 99% of it. And then would love to get back into Arena Rex. Super fun game. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into Arena Rex. I just need, like I said, I've been buried in commissions. It's been good though. Like it's been good. I've been donating a portion of my commission money to my Extra Life campaign, and then I'm also going to be auctioning off a bunch of stuff. Batman crews, Guild Ball teams. I'll be auctioning off stuff like that as part of my Extra Life. So it's gonna be a little bit different this year because it's not gonna be so many raffles. It's gonna be more auctions, so that people get what they want. You know, if you're gonna do, so I noticed with my Extra Life campaigns that there are certain people that donate a lot of money. There's like a few people that donate a lot of money, and then not as many, like, and then like a smattering of people that donate a small amount of money. And I want to reward the people that like year over year donate a lot of money to me, or to not to me, but to my campaign. by just like, here, if you want, because they usually want something or they like something that I've got. And instead of just like, oh, well, let's just increase your odds to where you're almost never not going to get it if you throw a whole bunch of money at it. You know, I've had too many scenarios where people have thrown a bucket load of money at something and they still lose the raffle. And that's just sad. So the plan this year, and also I'm not really chasing any official sponsors or anything. It's going to be a much smaller campaign. The plan this year is just to go in, raffle stuff that, you know, I mean, not raffle, but auction stuff directly to people that really want it. Right? Like, you know, if you really want my farmer's team, it's just, you know, basically it's just like an eBay auction. Just bid for it and get it. And I just donate a portion of that money to the Extra Life. I have to keep some of it for shipping and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's the idea. So it's going to be a lot more, I guess, it's going to be a lot more efficient of a campaign. And then, you know, and that way, you know, you're donating, you're getting something for sure. But and you also know that, like, hey, this money that I paid for this team or this Batman crew or whatever, you know, that went to helping kids. That's pretty awesome. So when your wife or whatever yells at you like, you buy new crew, you're like, no, that was for charity. Right? That's the excuse I would use. Anyways, if I was doing like, no, you don't understand. I needed another team. This is for charity. I did this for the kids. You don't know. I care about kids. But yeah, that's kind of the idea there. And it's easier for everybody, right? Because then I don't have to like track 40 names for a raffle. And then don't get me wrong, that was super fun when I had the time to do that, right? When we would play like Ninja All Stars on stream, right? And then in the middle of it, we'd give away a whole Ninja All Stars team or something. Like, that's super fun. Don't get me wrong, but you know, this way is going to be just more efficient for everybody. Why you gotta beat me for the children? Oh, I spilled a little. Well, whatever. I wish I cared. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the idea there for Extra Life. I was really, to be honest with you guys, I was really torn on whether or not I was going to do Extra Life this year, because it's a lot of work when you, especially the way I ran it in the years past, where, you know, it'd be like auction, raffles week after week after week, and then you finally get to the event, and then there's like another like 20 raffles you do the day of the event, and then you got to set everything up, and super fun, but it was a lot of work. You know, I'm extremely busy at work this year. We're moving our headquarters, and then it's the normal stress. You know, it always happens. Extra Life is always around the time of my kids' birthdays, and then also property taxes. Oh, that's always scary. I hate property taxes. I don't think, you know, and I'm sure nobody's gonna like try to defend. No, I really like property taxes. I don't, I don't think you could. That's not gonna fly. Is it raining outside? Could be. This is like staining wood here. Kind of cool. Being an adult sucks. Yes. Yes, it does. Property taxes and income taxes and all that shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it makes me It makes me vote more conservatively. And you know, the sad truth is, it's not necessarily the right, that's not necessarily going to be, cutting the taxes. It's just, it's a different, like, it's just that the alternative guarantees more taxes. You know what I'm saying? This is not Agrex Earthshade. I kind of made my own out of uh, sepia ink, black ink, and glaze medium, and so it's not Agrex Earthshade. It's actually a little bit warmer than Agrex Earthshade, and because it's a glaze, it's easier to manipulate. Yeah. It's been raining. That sucks. Well, actually, it's good. It's just I have a partial table out there. It's getting soaked. It's not a big deal, though. Yeah, these are from Vallejo inks. It's just easier to just make your own when you're looking for. I mean, I have the Agrex Earthshade gloss that I use sometimes, but if I don't want gloss, it's super hard to find just Agrex Earthshade now. Without the gloss sheen. And like I said, with this, because it's a glaze, if I screw something up, it's way easier to just take a damp brush and clear it out if it's glaze medium. It's not as likely to stain the way those Citadel washes will if you leave them. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't stain as much. It's a little more mild. Basically, you do a 4-to-1 sepia to black ink, and then you mix that a little more than 1-to-1 with the glaze medium, and just make yourself a bunch of it. And then I thin it one more time too when I put it in my palette, depending on if I want it to look deeper or not. Now these are obviously, when it goes in wet, it's gonna look darker, and but it'll dry lighter than this. So it's not as drastic as what we're seeing right now. But it does sort of, what I like is it sort of unifies everything without overpowering the colors. Like, you can still see the reds and the blues and all that stuff. You can still see all the colors, but they're all blended together. They all look a little bit aged, or they have a little bit of character to them. That's been one of the things that I really enjoyed doing, was working out how to do all the different glazes that I wanted to use. Whoops. I have a little too much product on this right now. It's okay. Just don't let it pool too hard. And then obviously when I paint, let's let these dry for a bit. Whoops. But yeah, that actually did a pretty good job of like blending all the furniture together. Google Less's brown form. Yeah, I know he makes a wash out of like future floor wax. They used to be a thing back in the day. These days this is what's been easiest for me to do, is make my own. Let's see. You decided to buy the Zombicide Black Plague Prince model. I don't think that's crazy. What? I like Prince. I will not judge because I also like Prince. It's okay. It's okay. You're in safe company. Not gonna not gonna judge you for that. All right. So let that dry for a bit. But see how it really kind of softened up that blue, and it blended it in with the cold gray. That's what I'm going for. Like I don't want these screaming at you, but I want them to look warm. I want them to look words. I want them to look words. Let that dry for a minute. Yeah. You was on eBay and you said, okay. Oh gosh. I bought some shit on eBay the other day. Flow Aid matte medium. That's cool. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I have a formula that I like and it's working for me. But yeah, that looks like that would work. So he's going inks as well, right? 415 distilled water Flow Aid. Yeah. And the matte medium helps keep the sheen down. Now, on a lot of my terrain, I'll spray a gloss on it first and then spray the matte, just to give it a little extra backbone. I should paint up a Prince. I'll look at the figure and see if it's cool. Like I said, though, it's gonna be a while. I'm gonna trudge through Gloomhaven, and then by that time, I'll probably be some of my Guild Ball stuff. My teams will start arriving, and I'll start painting that stuff. If it doesn't, though, what my plan would be is to paint. I need to paint the rest of my son's My Little Scythe, because those chibi for My Little Scythe are so good. They are so good. That's board games. One of the secrets I figured out with board games is if you can find children's games that have miniatures on them, for whatever reason, the miniatures are fucking off the wall good. Like they are Stuffed Fables, for example, kids game. And I bought it for my son, and I'm like, oh, I'll paint the models. It'll take me 3 or 4 nights, right? I think it took me, like 3 nights, right? And the quality of those miniatures were just off the charts good. I couldn't believe. I went back to the store, and I told the owner, like, dude, we need to tout how good how good quality these miniatures are. Like, they kicked the crap out of a lot of the mainstay, quote unquote miniatures games. They're way better. And the My Little Scythe chibi is so good. Like, I couldn't believe how what good quality they are. They're good size for kids, and like I said, they paint up really nice. Some of the best chibi pieces I've seen. I feel bad. Like I painted a few of them so that my son and I can play the game. The game is also super fun, by the way, if you're playing. I know if you don't have kids, not quite. It's not like you don't buy that and like show up a game night and be like, hey man, my little size. Although I'm sure somebody's done it. It's not a terrible game on its own, like on its own merit. But the whole point of that is playing games with kids and having them enjoy the game. Got Arcadia Quest for my son, never finished it. Yeah, like I said, I just finished Arcadia Quest, the core box, and the Inferno expansion. And the client's like, I backed the Kickstarter with all the stuff. And I'm like, listen, we're gonna break this into parts, okay? Like we're gonna make sure I don't kill you. So we're gonna break this into parts, and we're gonna tackle the boxes one at a time. And the good news is with the core box and Inferno done, that's the bulk. Those are the biggest sets, obviously. The rest of the sets, like pets and all that kind of stuff, those are a lot smaller sets. The bad news is those other sets are all characters, and characters suck. It's one thing if the characters were cool, like the SDE characters. Like I like painting the SDE characters. Like that's one thing. If they're cool like that, you can make that happen. Like you can make that work for yourself. But Arcadia Quest aesthetic is just not good. Got a little bit of wash there. I'm gonna just whoop. Let's let that dry, and then I'll probably hit that with a second coat. Yeah, you don't have to keep coming. Right. I'm hoping that I'm secretly hoping that the client starts playing, because she has plenty to start playing at this point. She has plenty to start playing. And if she starts playing, then she'll really get into it, and maybe she might try another game and want me to paint the other game instead. Because that's what happens with me and these big ass like board game Kickstarters, like Rising Sun, right? Really like Rising Sun, and the miniatures are dope for Rising Sun. I painted all the Rising Sun, the core pledge or whatever. I painted the whole core box and a couple extras, and I'm still slowly working my way through the Kickstarter stuff. But it's like, what's the point? With games like that, when you get the expansion immediately, like you're gonna spend some time just playing the core game, and a lot of times you're just cool playing the core game. Like especially Rising Sun, I played Rising Sun once. I painted it all up and played it once, and then just made me sad. And I was like, I could paint the rest of this crap, or I can paint more Guild Ball, which I know I'm gonna play multiple times. So that's what I did. I'm like, I'm just gonna continue living my life and painting up some Guild Ball, and I'll get back to Rising Sun whenever I feel like it. So painting board game miniatures for me is a trap. I just don't play board games enough, and especially when you start talking about expansions and Kickstarter exclusives and all that other stuff, like it's just I will never really enjoy that. I'm not, I have to come to terms with this idea that I'm not a board gamer. SDE makes you feel like you still have a soul left. I'm not a board gamer. I painted a copy of Starship Samurai like 3 months ago. Have we ever played it? No. I painted a whole set of Big Trouble in Little China, which I love, by the way. I love the movie, and I pre-ordered the deluxe game, and I painted all that up, and we played it twice. And that's a game that I like, and we still only played it twice. So like I just have to come to terms with me. right? My board game experience, he's your animal watch, nice. My board gaming experiences, the most satisfying board gaming experience for me is playing with my son. My son loves playing board games. I don't really play the board games in public with people anymore. So my son and I, we play SDE, we play Zombicide, we play Rail Raiders, we've even played Ninja All Stars once. And he wants to learn more. He wants to learn more games. And we play My Little Scythe and Stuffed Fables. We play all these games, and he is literally my favorite person to play board games with. He is. It's, I don't know. It's more. I'd like. That's a, to me. That's like a satisfactory board game experiences. So when I look at board games now, I'm just gonna blend that in a little bit. When I look at board games now, it makes more sense for me to look specifically for board games that my son and I can play together. That's best value for me, because we paint the miniatures, he gets excited. Oh, look, we have more characters we could play and this kind of stuff. And that's like win-win for me. And yeah, and I may be a bit biased. Yeah, it's fine. It's like that's our two-person gaming group, our two-person board gaming group. It's me and my son. But like, I've owned and painted all of those like big, not all of them, but a lot of those big board games, right? Uh, Mansions of Madness or Scythe or like all kinds of shit. And inevitably, I'll play them once. I'll paint the whole damn thing. Then I'll play it once. Be like, oh, that was cool. And then next week is like, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to play Guild Ball. So I always end up selling board games. And if I'm being honest with you, selling painted board games is just not, it's not as lucrative for me as, like, if I paint a Guild Ball team, right? If I paint a Guild Ball team, I'm painting, 12, 14 models. High quality. I get to do basing. I get paid very well to paint Guild Ball models. I get to paint an entire team. You get the satisfaction of seeing this awesome team, and then your client pays you for it, and it's good. It's a good ratio. It's a very favorable ratio. Board games, on the other hand, they usually have like 30, 40 pieces in a board game. You're going to spend a minimum of 5 to 6 setups. But if you want to actually sell a commissioned board game piece, you're talking about charging between $5 and $7 per piece, right? A lot of people balk at that price, but that's a steal. That is a steal compared to painting Guild Ball. But the Guild Ball players will happily pay that. They happily pay that. And like, I get a dope team. I don't care. This is awesome. Meanwhile, the board game people are like, what do you mean? What do you mean it's going to cost me a few $100, a couple $100 to paint my core set? And if I'm being honest with you, it makes, like, I'm secretly hoping for that every time. Dude, Andrew, I we're gonna figure it out. I'll take care of you, man. We'll figure it out. But see, that's the thing. That's why, like, paying board game miniatures, it's like I secretly want the person to say no. I secretly want them to balk at my pricing. And plenty of people have done that. But plenty more people are still like, nah, still paying it. I'm still paying it. And that it's, I take it as a compliment, right? Because I'm like, yeah, I paint very fast. It's a tabletop quality. but it's still something that you can enjoy. It's not like so bad that the minute you stare at it, it's going to be awful. It's going to still look pretty good. Let's see. I can't begin to tell you how many people come into Brookhurst and ask about painted miniatures, find out no one really wants to paint their models and how much it costs when they do. For real, man. And when I paint Guild Ball miniatures, when I paint Batman, Malifaux, those kinds of, when I paint those miniatures, I charge a very competitive price for that, right? I charge the I call it a supported system, quote unquote. If it's a supported system, meaning it's a game that I have interest in personally, and I'm helping grow a local community, then I charge my base rate, which is the full retail cost of the model. That's actually a pretty damn good price for, I think so, and a lot of other people think so too, right? So but when you go outside that, when you try to get me to paint some shit I don't like, it's gonna cost more. That's because you're paying for my time, right? You're paying for sanity. Like, like I said, like the Gloomhaven thing. Like, I don't like those miniatures. Arcadia Quest, same thing. I don't really like those miniatures. So I give them a price that's higher than what I would normally charge. And they're still like, okay, I'll still do it. But I'm also secretly hoping that they say no. I painted that Doctrine. You remember that Relic Knights Doctrine cadre that I painted? It was a Kickstarter cadre. I offered to sell those pieces unpainted to the client for nothing. I was like, here's, you could have the cadre. I'll sell it to you for $20. And like, because you are a local person and you're actually going to play some Relic Knights, right? I'll $20. You just get it out of here. Get it away from me and let's move on with life. And she's like, well, how much would you charge to have it all built and painted? And I won't tell you guys how much I charge on air, but I did say like significantly more, like magnitudes of order more, because it's going to be like $20. Like, use your imagination, right? $20, and it's the Kickstarter set. So full Relic Knight box extras. We're talking about, I don't know, 25, 30 pieces, right? And it's that crappy. It's like this quality. You guys remember the Relic Knights quality. Like, the Trooper quality just wasn't there. It wasn't very good. But I still threw out a big price. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, you can just, I even told her, I'm like, look, just pay the $20 and walk away. That's way better. You'll never get something that good. No, paint it. And so I painted it begrudgingly, like, oh God, no. So I painted all that stuff. It was not my best work. I think you guys might have remembered I was struggling because the previous owner had used Gorilla Glue on the Kisa rider, and that was just a complete nightmare. And she came back and she's like, I'm a little surprised that this isn't, this isn't as good quality as this wasn't as good quality as the other stuff I had sold her. And I told her, yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's not as good quality. One, because the person who built it really mucked it up. And these sculpts aren't good. They're not very good. The last time I sold you stuff, I sold you much better sculpts. I have no control over that. I mean, that's just right. If you're just gonna buy, if you're buying the prefects, which are some of the worst sculpts in Relic Knights, I'm sorry. there's not a whole lot I can do about that. If we're talking about On the other hand, if I'm painting No, which are nice big size, good quality miniatures, yeah, those are going to look awesome. Those should look pretty good, and that's actually good value. Like, don't pay me to paint crap. It's like you're wasting your money, and some people do that. It's like I had some D&D clients that they're like, oh, we just bought the cheapest orcs we could find, and I told them like, okay, well here's my minimum setup cost, and I'll paint those for you. But frankly, that's a waste. Like, go out and like I showed the guy, I'm like, look, for nearly the same amount of money, let's go look at these Reaper models and let's get you some actually like decent looking goblins, decent looking orcs, and like just do it wisely. Like, don't throw shit in front of a painter and expect it to come back looking miraculous. It's not, especially if you're not paying somebody, display level prices, right? Maybe if you're like painting, if you're like paying Heraldez to paint, which that you're just being an asshole. You're like, hey, Angel Heraldez, paint this really, really shitty PVC model. Heraldez will make it look awesome, but it's a serious waste of talent, if you're going to do that. Yeah, anyways, we're going to let these dry for a little bit. We'll hang out for a little bit and I'll seal them up, call it a night. I want to field these tomorrow. So I'm playing some Guild Ball tomorrow. I got this. I'm fucking stoked on that shit, dude. It's real simple paint job, but it's gonna look so dope on a Guild Ball pitch. People are like, what the hell? Like, it's badass. I definitely have to build out the rest of my Alchemist set. So I have a full Alchemist theme Guild Ball terrain set. I'm wondering if I should risk. No, actually I should. I'm just gonna risk. I'm gonna shoot it. I don't care. What's the worst that can happen? It looks a little cloudy. Then you shoot it with a little gloss and you start over. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. But yeah, the thing is, like, I feel bad. There's times when I know that I'm not giving somebody a good deal, but I tell them, like, I straight out like tell them, like, look, that's not. If this is what you want, I've even referred people to other painters. I'm like, look, you want real like value pricing? Go to this guy. It's not, if you don't really give a shit what it looks like, you just want it covered, you want a couple base coats on it, give it to this guy. He's going to charge you like half of what I charge, right? There are other people that really like what I do and they just give me shit models. And I'm like, man, let me see if I can help you there, because I don't want you to waste your money. But yeah, that Arcadia Quest, that client is like, oh, and I backed Star Arcadia Quest. And I was like, no, don't do it. Whatever. That is one saving grace, though, right? Because board gamers do not scrutinize. They do not have. They don't hold the same standards as miniature gamers do. So technically, you could you could paint to a lower standard. You could technically. I won't do it because I just paint to one standard. It doesn't matter. It's just how I paint to. This is what works for me. That is the saving grace, though. Like board gamers are like, oh my god, it's the best looking thing. What's funny about board gamers? Let's get a little air on these before I seal them. And pay almost the cost of the board. If you're talking, actually, if you're talking Rising Sun, the organizer for Rising Sun costs more than the full Kickstarter. Yeah, and they won't put. Yeah, it's true. They won't put together the multi-part mini. That was crazy to me. Like Rising Sun retails for like $100, right? If you want the broken egg organizer for Rising Sun, that costs like $300. What? So I was like, oh my god. You want to hear something terrifying though? There's my Rising Sun core box. It just has the miniatures in plastic bags. They are not in any kind of good storage situation. It's so sad. Sorry, Rising Sun main. But I was like, I only break you out like once a year. You'll be fine. If that. The main reason like why I wouldn't sell Rising Sun is because it's like I'll never get my money's worth. Meanwhile, I could sell my Guild Ball teams like it's just fucking candy. I'm like, you want this one? Sure, I'll make another one for me next week. Not a big deal. But like Rising Sun, me. Maybe at some point I could be convinced to sell my Big Trouble in Little China. Yes, flacons. I'll give you a hint, Andrew. I am figuring out something for you. Just trust me for a minute. I'm figuring out something for you. We got this taken care of, man. All right. Whatever. Let's seal these bad boys. I'm tired. I'm tired of waiting. I need to go to bed. Yeah, dude. I'm fucking so amped for season 4 now, though. I know them. People are gonna be sad about. Like I was saying at the beginning, like people are gonna be sad about that brick nerf. Fuck that noise. Masons are strong as shit. I'm just gonna say that they're strong. Granite is a fucking beast, and you better watch your shit when she's on the board. She's the real deal now. I'm so happy about that too. Well, here's the thing: brick is still good, but 1-inch countercharge is a lot harder. It's a lot harder to actually get. It's a lot easier to play around on 1-inch countercharge. Like I get that. For the spot though, it's to me and I'm so used to not ever getting countercharge and knowing that good players are better than that anyway. What Granite does now is dope as shit. So Granite she's on the squad, dude. She's on the squad until she, I feel underwhelmed by her. But as of right now, like she's looking pretty damn good. I think I got this one already, didn't I? I don't remember. All right. So the Granite hype is essentially she went to 2-inch melee and 4/6 move. And she still has between a rock and a hard place, so she still gets to move up when people take damage. She does that Grange ability with the crowd out. So if she's crowding you out, it's -2 dice, which is freaking amazing. She's got a knockdown on 2 also amazing. Gut and String and Tar Pit. So essentially, what you want to do with her, if you're not planning on having a big turn with her off the kickoff, is she's an early activation. She puts up Tar Pit, and she moves to the person most likely to be hit, right? So, in the Super Pat Cat I was talking about earlier, if you kick off with Tower, she becomes an early activation. She puts up Tar Pit. She moves to within 4 inches of Tower. The minute Tower takes a hit, she's moving. If Tower gets engaged in combat and takes damage, she can walk into that and crowd out the guy who's hitting Hammer or Tower and take 2 dice away from him and put him in rough ground. That's some fucking disgusting shit, man. Like, yeah, I didn't get to countercharge you, but I'm going to make the rest of your turn hell. And not only that, you just put that character that came in to hit your kicker is going to be in a world of hurt now because of all that shit, and they can't get out of it. And the person's it's like having Fangtooth that's got 4-inch wide rough ground and that stupid crowd out. Like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Like, that's just instant mosh pit. So, yeah. So Granite, and not to mention, Granite is like one of the dopest miniatures in all of Guild Ball. We finally get to field her. And she has reach, right? And the other hilarious thing you could do, and you'll see this bullshit with Hammer. So sorry. So with the V Harmony, Hammer is essentially 30 wounds tough hide, right? Because fuck that noise. So this dude is 30 wounds tough hide. But you could have Granite halfway across the damn pitch, and Hammer takes damage. You elect to put it on Harmony, and if Harmony is within Granite's bubble, well, guess what? Granite gets to fucking move over there, and you have this giant. She's not going to get a crowd out on whoever is attacking Hammer if she's that far away, but she will most likely get that person into rough ground, which is also still disgusting. Like, but we were talking about some like ridiculous super Pat Cat bullshit you can do. So I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna try it out and see if it works. Pretty sure it's gonna work. Masons are so strong kicking now. It's stupid. Mostly kicking with Hammer. They're so strong kicking. But even on my honor team, I can turn Tower into a miniature Hammer because they, very similar playstyle. But I can do all. The one thing that's interesting is it's like having miniature Hammer and honor on the same team. But still, I mean, Hammer is still amazing. The Rissa is Mallet and the Jizza is Hammer. Oh man, that would be kind of dope to do. Wu-Tang Masons. That is kind of dope. I have to think about like maybe painting up like a themed Masons team. Might be kind of interesting. But yeah, dude. I got faith in the Brewers, man. I think Brewers are gonna be good. I think they're gonna spread out that power curve. You saw what they did, basically, like, right? They nerfed Brick, but what they did really was they made it so that Brick isn't the auto include. So knowing that VDEC is the auto include, what's most likely gonna happen is you'll see her nerfed back into position, and then you'll probably see some buffs on Hooper. You'll probably see some buffs on. You'll definitely see buffs on Stave. Hell, Stoker. They'll probably bring Stoker into line. So I think it's dope, man. I think they're gonna do good stuff with the Brewers. The one thing I'll say though with season 4 is I don't feel like season 4 at all addresses faction to faction power levels. I don't think they do. I think at the end of the day, the Union is as strong as they were. I would say that the Masons are as strong as they were. I would also say, and from what we've seen from the other leagues, it looks like the power scales between guilds are going to be the same. The the choices of models within guild, that's where things are very different. You get the momentum on kickoff. Yeah. I will say though that one thing that's going to be really interesting, probably one of the most interesting things about season 4, is there are a lot of teams that want to kick now. There are a lot of lineups that want to kick. So we're going to be like flipping coins and rolling dice to see who's kicking, not who's receiving. If you think about the way games get into engagement now, if you're in the person's face brawly engagement team, you sure as shit want to kick, because you're almost, in my opinion, you're gonna give up a goal. In fact, you kind of want to. You give up a goal that first turn, you will guarantee yourself more momentum and a hostage going into the next turn, and you have the option of either killing the ball or that 6-point activation. You know what I mean? Butchers, Brewers, Masons, even Union should kick. I think Union should kick. Hell, the way Blackheart and them, how they can extend threat, shit, I would want to kick with them too. Even Smoke wants to kick. Smoke wants to kick because by the end of what you want to do is at the end of turn 1, you've got fire and poison on most, if not all, of the enemy team. And you might have picked your target for turn 2. You park within 4. You guarantee your momentum for turn, right? If you get 3 or 4 poison burning players in your aura, your 4-inch aura, then you're up on momentum. Then so basically Smoke gets to go twice in a row. You legendary on the second turn. You burn the shit out of those people. And you pick one and you burn them down with your remaining influence and kick a goal. You know what I mean? That's another team. You want to kick with that team. I think kicking has become so strong that I think a lot of teams are going to be fighting to see who kicks. Now, if I'm playing Midas, I'm still going to want to receive. If I'm playing Shark, I'm still going to want to receive. But that's, like I said, there's just going to be some matchups where, hell, I mean, blacksmiths could go either way. If you're fielding Sledge and Vet Cinder, you're going to want to kick. You will definitely want to kick into that shit, right? I don't know. It's really interesting. They made it so brawly teams really want to kick. They made it so goal scoring teams still want to receive. I like that quite a bit. And yeah, I don't think the scales change much. I think your top 3 guilds, the power 3, are still Union, Fish, and Hunters, in my opinion. Those are the 3 strongest guilds in Guild Ball. I think Farmers are right up there. I'd say Masons are close. Blacksmiths are very close. But those are in my opinion, those are the top 3 guilds. I feel like Hunters have a better control game. If you consider a competitive setting with hunters, especially with the changes to Skatha. Hunters can play some really complete matchups now, right? Because it was always Theron, Theron, Theron. I'm going to take Theron into this, Theron into this. And people understood how to take Theron into anybody, roughly. Now that you have Skatha in there, like, oh, wait, this is kind of a shitty matchup for Theron. I can play a 3-0 with Skatha. And Skatha is fucking legit 3-0 now, right? So that's why I'm saying, like, they're in the top 3. Hunters are they're in the top 3. Theron, in my opinion, better control captain than Obulus. Well, no, I can't say that. But Theron's lineup is better at control than Obulus' lineup is. On an individual scale, Obulus obviously is the better control piece, but Obulus doesn't have the supporting cast that Theron has. Obulus doesn't set up the snares and like, right? Obulus can control an enemy piece and do something very critical with that one piece. Theron can make one piece attack him. He can take the kick away from another piece, and he can snare every single person he hits. Right? So I feel like Theron sets up his team better, and he thwarts critical pieces on the other team. And then when you consider, like, I'm thinking in terms of total guild, right? I don't know. Maybe Fish drop out of the top 3 because they've lost their momentous damage. That was a huge deal for them. So let's see. What's the top 3 then? Damn, I'm gonna have to push either farmers or blacksmiths into that top 3. I'm gonna make a wild prediction. I'm gonna say blacksmiths make the top 3, which is fucking batshit crazy. But I do think that if they don't muck around, we'll see tomorrow. Actually, we'll see what the blacksmiths leak. But with the alloy hearth foundation for any team, if they don't mess with that, if they don't mess with with alloy hearth, and then you drop sledge anvil into that team, and then your third pair is in my opinion, you go V-Cinder and Furnace, or the lineup I really like is and you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, but I would drop, oh god, well, no, I would keep Anvil on that team, and I would drop, instead of Furnace, I would drop Ferrite in as my captain, just to have another. So your strikers are really Alloy and Ferrite, but Ferrite's ability to shut down, you don't really use her as a striker per se, until you need it. But her ability to speed up the entire team, her ability to shut down enemy strikers, like she does that like it's just a joke, right? She hits a person, disarm, hobble, like bam. That striker is worthless. That striker is dead to the world, right? Once you do that. But yeah, your 3 apprentices being V-Cinder, Sledge, and Alloy. That's disgusting. That's disgusting, man. Like, who the hell are you? You're talking about Sledge, like I said, auto 8 damage. V-Cinder on a charge is reliably doing 10. And Alloy can do everything else. Alloy can do everything else. Now, I know I'm dropping Iron from that list, and it's a little bit sad. But you could easily put him back in if you want the reliability, because Iron is a much more stable player than V-Cinder. But if you're going for flashbang, throw V-Cinder in there. Right? I want to look at each master and say I can make any of these a captain. Oh, it's not going to happen with Ferrite. I mean, with Ferris. Unless they severely overhaul her. I don't know. So anyways, yeah, I think that's my call. I think those are top 3. I think those are going to be the top 3 guilds. Union, what did I say? Union hunters, and blacksmiths. That's my prediction. What's going to be the top tier? Anyways, it's like midnight. I gotta go to bed. But we got to see this cool shit, so we'll see this cool shit. Anyways, that's gonna do for this video. I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good night, guys. Okay, Blade Wolf man, don't worry. I'm pulling for you because I want to see. I too would love to see Ferris and Bolt in a playable state. Would love to see them in a playable state. But anyway, good night, everybody.